My name is Angelus. I'm a corporate culture expert, and I'm also a leadership and staff developer. Two reasons for this video is I had an overwhelming response from my other social media site of the 6 steps of business success. So I wanted to share that with my LinkedIn environment, so to speak. And my hope is that, as it did in my other social media, that it will some affect or help somebody out there get to the next level of their financial business success. So with that said, let's go through the steps. There's at least 6 of them. Now I'll make this quick because I know everybody's out there is busy and they got to get back to their business. The first step is to identify what you want. Very important. If you're not crystal clear on what it is exactly you want, what is the problem, the issue that's you're dealing with and you want to resolve. Is it a glass ceiling? Is it making or doubling your 6-figure income? Maybe you're already making you're making $200,000 and you want to get up to $300,000. Or maybe I bring it back. You're making $100,000 and you want to get up to the $200,000. Whatever that which you are looking for, exactly what you really want, you got to be clear on exactly what it is. I said once, pretend you found a bottle or a lamp and you rubbed and the genie came out. And the genie said, "What is thy bidding, master?" And you would have to think about what exactly you want. Now you have to be careful because the genie's not going to tell you what to do. The genie's not going to give you suggestions on what's the best wish to have or do the work for you. All they're going to do is grant you your wish. It's kind of like how the universe works. So you really have to be crystal clear on what it is you want. Because if you told the genie, well, give me $1 million, and the genie threw all the money on top of you, and then later on you have to pay taxes on that, and since you didn't declare it, you probably have to go to court or go to jail because it looks like it was done on a nefarious way of collecting the money. Whatever. You have to be careful and know exactly what you want. The second one is you got to write it down. Now, there's 3 levels to this, and I didn't go into depth in my writing. Why is it so important to write it down? Some people say, well, I'm really, really great holding it up in my head. I don't need to write it down. I'll memorize it. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not putting that down. But here's the thing. It's proven scientifically that even though we have 2 eyes, we have 2 ears, and 2 parts of a brain, we really cannot multitask. Our brains are so fantastic, far beyond a simple computer that works really fast. And it gives an illusion it's multitasking, but really, just like a computer, your brain does one thing at a time, one thing at a time. If you take your focus off of it, it will stop doing what it's doing and go on to the other. But if you leave it alone, it will do one job, finish and go on to the other. So it's an illusion of multitasking. You can only do one thing at a time. So keep that in mind. Whatever you focus on, you're spending a lot of energy on. Now with this energy, it could be focused on other things like branding, marketing, sales. So how can you loosen up some of this energy so it can be focused more on the important things of your business? Well, okay, write it down. Now that you write it down, not that you can't remember. It's not that we're challenging your ability to have great memory. No, it's to free up that energy to do more important things. So you have to write it down. Now, as you're writing it down, it has 3 effects immediately. One would be a metaphysical or quantitative type of reaction immediately when you write it down. It's telling the universe, this is what I want. It's telling the universe, it's time. It's telling the universe, hey, I took the first step towards my goal. You have to take an action in this universe. Up here, it's theoretical. Up here, it's always there. Up here, it's taking up a lot of energy, and you can't really focus on anything else. But once it comes down and through your arm onto a piece of paper, and I don't mean a computer. You can't type this up. It's proven not to work. And you can Google all this that I've mentioned. I'm not going to go into the scientific, physiological, psychological, and how the brain works. There's better experts than myself on that. But I'm giving you the evidence I've seen that once it goes through you, flows through your hand and onto a piece of paper, it's now from theoretical to reality. It's practical. It's in the 3D universe. It's the beginning of your first step of action taking. Okay. Another aspect of it is the psychological effects. Once you write it down, you have an immediate sense of accomplishment, which creates endorphins, makes you feel good, and you feel more fulfilled and content at, wow, I finally did something. I started. Then there's a physiological, the brain itself. It when you write something down, the brain now has let go of that, and now you can focus because you can always go back to that. But now you can let go and focus on the more important things that I mentioned earlier. So these are the reasons, 3 reasons that affect you immediately on a quantitative level, to the universe, mental, physical, psychological, all just by writing it down. So I suggest take what you know and write it down. Then you want to break it down to simple action steps. Here's the great part. The first action step was already done. You wrote it down. Now you got to make a plan out of this. And again, a lot of people say, I have my plan up here. Nice. But I suggest, you don't have to believe me. I'm only giving a suggestion. You can say, close the video down and say, I'm not going to do it. But I've seen it work. Take your action step plan and write it down on a piece of paper through the arm onto the piece of paper and put clear, how can I put it in exact verbiage? You want to make sure it's concise, it's measurable, and it's not so overwhelmingly ahead of you. Like an example, you don't want to put this so far ahead, like it's not a goal. This is not goal setting. You don't want to put something a year ahead or 6 months ahead. You want to do it where you can take action immediately after you're in the paper. Every day, every few hours even, or every other day. You don't go a week without taking at least several steps. That way it's manageable, it's measurable, it's not overwhelming, and you can get to the end result much quicker. And every day you see you're getting yourself closer to your end game, your goal. The next step is ask for help. And this is the biggest problem with a lot of entrepreneurs and even people, seasoned professionals in big corporate companies, Fortune 500s, whatever. But the big problem is they're really not used to asking for help, or they haven't been trained that help is necessary. When they were kids, you had no problems asking for help. You needed this, you needed that from your mother and father, your older siblings, your friends. But as we became adults, somehow that was trained out of us, and we had to prove that we don't need help. That shows, our strength, our flexibility. It proves to others that, like cats, we're self-resilient, we're self-perpetuating. We don't need any help, or we can do everything ourselves. And I've seen that in a lot of my clients and students, that concept that, I have to do it myself. No. Let me give you an example. And for people who are farmers, this won't apply to you. But if you go to your refrigerator and take out an egg and you're going to have it for breakfast, statistically, and you can Google this, plus or minus, it takes about 1,000 people literally to get that egg from the chicken on the farm to your table, to collect the egg, put it to the processing, clean the egg, pack the egg, brand the egg, send it to the stores. You see what I'm saying? So for that one egg in the morning, it took 1,000 plus or minus people to get it to you. So without their help, you couldn't eat that egg. You couldn't have that breakfast. So it's no different than with your own business. Every business is dependent on other businesses. B2C, B2B, all dependent. Ask for help on things that you do not know anything about. If you're brilliant in marketing, obviously you don't need a lot of help in marketing, but it wouldn't hurt to ask somebody who knows more about marketing. If you don't know anything about marketing, then obviously ask somebody help for marketing. And if you have to hire somebody to do what you're not good at, write this. This is the last step. Write it down, what exactly you're good at and what exactly you're not good at. Those things that you are not good at, pay somebody else to do it for you, at least for now, until you learn those skill sets and do it yourself. Or learn them as soon as possible because they're your weakness. And also don't forget about the ones you're good at. You can still develop it. Nobody's reached perfection. So now that's asking for help. The next step is you got to be also crystal clear on who you are and who you serve. I remember watching Marvel Comics and Doctor Strange asking, who do you serve? Obviously, he knows who he is. And he's asking he's asking, even though it's Marvel Comics, it's the Marvel movies with Iron Man and Thor and all that and the Hulk. It was a business question. And I asked all my clients this, who are you exactly? If you don't know who you are, and worse, you don't know who you serve, stop right there. Don't pass go. Don't collect any more cards. Figure out what you are and where you are, and then figure out exactly who's your media, who are you serving out there, who are you selling your products and services to. I'm terrified sometimes when I have clients come to me and they've been in business for years, not doing the greatest. I'm very frustrated that they're working very, very hard and not making what they were hoping to make, and the business is struggling. And I realized later on is they didn't even know who they were serving, never mind who they were. Okay, so now the last but not least, get out there. It's paramount. Okay, let me turn this around. Here's a secret. Here's a statement, and I'm going to give you the answer to the secrets of the statement. How would you like it if I told you how to get sales reps to sell your product and services for you for free, not even being paid a commission? You like that? Would you like to know that trick? Well, here it is. You get yourself out there. You get known. You create relationships. For your introverts out there, this is a little bit more difficult, but that's not an excuse. It's still a skill set that you can learn. You need to get yourself out there. Join Toastmasters. Go to a BNI group. Go to the Chamber of Commerce. I have many seats to leads type of groups. Learn to develop relationships. I can't impress upon you how much it's worked and saved me over the last 15 years. One good relationship, one conversation is actually created a $20,000 client. Another relationship created a $50,000 client for me. Just talking. I couldn't afford to pay 2 or 3 sales reps to go out to get me that kind of job. And that just simple conversation, having coffee, sitting down having lunch or dinner, or having them come over to the house. I stress, get yourself out there, let people know who you are, what your services are, what your products are, put a face to your business. And that alone in itself, if you forget the other 5 steps, that alone will get you to your next level of financial success. So these are all the steps. I hope some of this stuff will help you guys out there. It's useful. Please, afterwards, comment, give me a nice positive critique on things that you learned from this. And if you figured out that there's something even better than what I've said, it's not beyond me. I don't have the ego. I'm always learning. I'm always appreciative when people give me constructive criticism. I learn by sharing, and by sharing, they learn as well. So please leave a comment. Let me know how this has helped you, or how you don't agree with it, and tell me why you don't agree with it. And if I find it valuable, I will ask your permission to quote you on my next video. So with that, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I see you next week. This is Angeles Perez, thanking you.